I'd like to welcome everyone to the May 17th, 2021 council meeting for the Village of Fairfax. Have a roll call, please.
Ms. Camerisi,
Here.
Mr. Ernst,
Here.
Mr. Kessel,
Here.
Ms. Lally,
Here.
Ms. Resnick,
Here.
and Mr. Riffle.
Here.
In your packets, everybody should have received the, I'm sorry. At this time, we have the reading of the bills and bank reconciliation.
All the bills have been paid and reconciled.
Need a
April.
motion to approve the bills and bank reconciliation for the month of April.
I so move. I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Bills and bank reconciliation have been approved for the month of April. In your packets, everybody should have received minutes from the April meeting, April 19th. Do we have any corrections, deletions, additions? At this time, I need a motion to approve the minutes from the April 19th.
I so move.
I'll second.
Favor, signify by saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Minutes from the April 19th, 2021 council meeting have been approved. Do we have any communications?
I do have three of them. The first one is from Lexipol, stating on behalf of Lexipol, congratulating the police department on their achievement in policy management. And then as a token of their appreciation, they have been presented with a plaque for the department. The plaque reads Lexipol Connect 2020 Gold Plaque presented to Fairfax Police Department for excellence in law enforcement policy management. The next one is from the Hamilton County Communications to Chief Bronson, thanking him for his generous donations in honor of National Public Safety Telecommunications Week. The donation is greatly appreciated, and I thank you always for helping out with this special week. It is appreciated. That's from Andrew Knapp, Director, Hamilton County Communications. Third one is to Chief Bronson, Fairfax Police Department, thanking him for supporting this year's Mariemont FAB Affair with important sponsorship donation. Fairfax Police Department's generous gift of $500 is greatly appreciated. And this states we are incredibly fortunate to have your support in helping us deliver a successful event during an unusual time. Hosted jointly by the Mariemont School Foundation, Mariemont Arts Association, and Athletic Boosters Organizations, the FAB Affair packs 3 fundraisers into one spectacular night. The funds raised at the event are split equally among the 3 organizations, helping to support many of the extras and programs that set our school district apart in educational excellence, athletics, and the arts. Again, we thank you for your generosity and commitment to the Mariemont City School District. We could not do what we do without your support. Best regards, Ryan Naccioni, FAB Sponsorship Chair, and Biff Black, Treasurer, Mariemont School Foundation.
Again, as always, Chief, job well done. We appreciate everything that the police department does for the village. Like I said in the past, I would pair my police department, maintenance department, and fire department up with anybody right now. So, thanks, Mayor. Do we have any committee reports?
The Playground Park Committee has met twice since our last meeting. We've been discussing options for the pool property. Right now, we have many of the members of the committee have gone through some books regarding playground equipment and have submitted them to Jenny, who's going to try to compile all our ideas, and so that we can present them to the playground company for a mock-up and estimate of how much it's going to run.
Anybody else? Any other committees?
Yes, the Planning Commission met to discuss the zoning change on the south side of Worcester. We have a public hearing on June 15th at 6 o'clock.
Rob, we had to, I'm sorry, Don, we had to cancel that meeting. So we need to get together as a planning commission and do some discussion on this, the property that we're talking about. So
Okay.
it's the same date, but it won't be a public hearing that day.
Okay. We're going to keep that date and time though.
Okay, right.
Okay.
Any other reports?
Yes, at the infrastructure meeting, we went over with Jim about the upcoming year. Alan, I don't know if you want to wait for this or toward the end of the meeting, but I do want to have see if we can get something together about the grass cutting instead of waiting a month and a half to get these people to cut their grass. More likely they cut their grass as soon as Jim comes up and presents it to them. But then there are those people who don't. And then the grass gets high and it makes our neighborhood look trashy. And I was wondering if we could have an ordinance on the order of, you get one warning, and then if it's not taken care of, that we will issue a citation.
Yeah, I'll be glad to look into that. I know we looked at it before, and I think some of the processes were not quite as easy, but I do think we can streamline it. So you want one warning, then a citation. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
So do you need to speak to me anymore on it, or is it all in your court?
I probably don't, but if I need anything, I'll reach out.
Okay.
I think
Thank
the other
you.
issue, Jenny, could be the constant offenders. I mean, I knew there's a guy on the, and every year we go through the same thing. Is there anything we can do about repeat offenders? Something about.
Well, maybe they won't be repeat defenders if they get a citation. I mean, we're talking a fine.
Yeah.
So, I
We already
mean,
had that in place. Give them one warning, and then after that, it's a citation. Isn't that the way it's always been?
Well, the warning itself, I would like to see it just as a week. I don't want it to go on for multiple weeks. I'd like to see, hey, you got a warning, get it cut in a week. If not, you get a citation. I don't want to have to keep reiterating over 15 days to get a letter here, get a letter there. Just
Right.
do it that way.
Yep, I agree.
So on that, will be something that you'll be working on then?
Yeah, I will.
Okay, thank you. Any other committee reports? Okay. Mayor's monthly report.
Mayor's monthly report for April, $6,552.50.
Do we have any questions? This time I need a motion to approve the mayor's monthly report.
That's the move.
I'll second.
All in favor? All saying aye.
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 Any opposed? Okay, the mayor's monthly report has been approved. Administrator's report.
Okay, I have just one really general subject. Based on an email request I got from Ms. Camarisi, I have some information on potential funding for the village from what's called the Community Development Block Grant Fund, which some of you on council have heard of before. It's through Hamilton County. And so I checked in a little bit about that, what's available, when you can apply, what it can be used for. So I'm going to summarize that in a minute. And then council can think of about all the stuff I'm about to throw at you, so we can have more discussion at the next ECC meeting. So I don't have all the detailed information, but should have some by next month. And then we can continue some discussions to see if there's some potential projects we could apply for. So first, I'll start with the community block grant funds. It's a 3-year funding cycle. This one is 21 to 2023. And it is money that's generated from the federal government. It gets filtered down eventually through the county, and it can be used for a number of things. And the list I'm about to tell you, it's longer than this, but these are the things that more likely I think that we would use the funds for, and some things wouldn't even apply to this because we don't have our own water treatment system and utilities. We don't own our own utilities like gas and electric like some communities do. So these funds through Hamilton County can be used for things like acquiring property. They can be used on public utilities. Again, we don't own any public utilities. Street improvements, and we have used those funds for that in the past. Senior citizen centers, clearing and demolition of properties we own, pedestrian walkways, ADA improvements, parks. It says that parks, like acquiring the land, clearing the land to create the park. And then there's apparently a special emphasis on pairing that with the Nature Works grant, which is a state of Ohio grant or other similar kind of grant that could be used for equipment, trails, walking paths, all kinds of things, anything recreational in nature. So the CDBG funds could be used as the local share match to a Nature's Work grant possibly. And the Nature Work grant is again a separate grant that you can apply for in February of each year, which is again, which is money as we got in the past for the playground equipment that just got pulled out. So that could be some potential funding for different phases of the park. So that's just a very small list of some of the things that these funds can be used for. Again, it's a competitive grant. All political jurisdictions in Hamilton County can apply for these funds. And you do have to meet, because it's generated from the federal level, there are income guidelines. When they look at the area of the project you want to do, whatever section of the village it is in, and whatever census tract it is in, they look at the household income of those people who live in that particular defined census tract. And you have to have so many people within a low income level. So sometimes that's the trick. That's what makes it harder to possibly get those funds. A program such as one where in the past we've talked about before but never done, and one I know that Ginny has had interest in, is a home improvement program. That would be a community-wide program. So you would look at almost the entire community and could possibly get that low-income housing threshold met. If you're looking at something in a specific area, like doing something at a park or creating a park, they're going to look where that is, and then look at the houses around it in a certain area. And you have to have so many people meet the low income threshold to qualify. So that's what makes it a little harder to get those funds sometimes when you're looking at specific projects in a specific area. I'll have some more information at the ECC meeting, but I wanted to really end this with throwing out one more possibility. I don't have a lot of information yet, but there's a possible alternative maybe for this home improvement program that we've talked about before. And again, I'll in a minute tell you a little bit more about that. But the village is expecting to get some additional funds from the CARES Act, or what's now called the America Recovery Act. We are still waiting for guidance from the state of Ohio's Office of Budget Management. We're still waiting to find out how much we're getting. These are funds, another maybe chunk of funds like we got last year, but we have till the end of 2024 to spend them. And it appears, again, we don't know for sure, but it appears that these funds may be able to be used for more community-wide projects that may not have to be specifically tied to COVID-19, meaning not to buy gloves or masks or things directly related to COVID, but that could be used by the community for, putting some funds back into the community as a result of and reaction to COVID to make these community programs. So it could maybe be investment in a park area. Maybe it could be creating this, our own type of a home improvement program, because there is a statement in the federal guidelines that's pretty general nature, but said funds can be used to address impacted communities, including assistance for residential households. Again, pretty general, and that's why we're waiting for specific guidance from the state. But maybe there is going to be some funding we could get to set aside to do a program like that or put towards parks or whatever it is. So again, hoping by ECC, I'll have a little bit more detailed information on it and potentially how much the village is actually going to receive for our stipend. For those of you on council who weren't here several years back, the village wanted to look at establishing a program through a community block grant fund, and we weren't able to get funding at that time. But there are several communities in Hamilton County who have a program that benefits either lower income or maybe those that are on a fixed income, maybe senior citizens that could help them do some minor exterior improvements to their home. I looked up some minutes from a council meeting several years back, and where our council did discuss setting up a program. And the desire at that time was that if we got grant funds or had some funds to establish a program, they were looking at taking $20,000 in a year and providing these grants or funds to fix certain exterior things of people's homes for a maximum of a $2,000 project. So no one could get more than that. The resident had to own their own home. It couldn't be a rental property. And they had to still meet a certain income level so that those with the most need were getting the money. But so an application would be developed and they would be reviewed and money given out accordingly. There are some communities, again, who've been doing this for a number of years, some with community block grant funds and some who just establish these programs on their own and use their own general funds or some other kind of funding source for it. Springdale is one of them. And in those minutes, we had talked about the kinds of improvements they allow their residents to apply for. So just to give, again, council an idea of the kinds of things that would be a potential grant. There are things like replacing windows, garage doors, replacing gutters, walkways and driveways, doing some exterior paint, installing fencing, replacing outdoor faucets. That was a kind of general list of 1 year of applications that Springdale had. So, and Springdale actually limits their program to $1,000 is the most that you can get. So these again aren't going to completely replace someone's roof. It's not going to do a room addition, anything like that. These are for repairs that might be needed for those who, again, most need it. And it's again limited to exterior only, no interior remodeling projects. So again, I'll have some more information on possibly what we're getting from the CARES Act and what those monies can be used for, as well as the county funds to see, and again, Jenny, you can chime in here to see what we might be able to do for a home improvement program, because I know that's something she's been interested for many years, or to see potentially what other kinds of programs or projects council may want to look at with either, again, the CARES Act funds or potential grant funds that the county may be able to give us. So that's as far as the update I have for now. Again, I hope to have more information next month. But if there's anything else that I'm missing, Jenny, or something else you want to make sure that I look into, let me know.
All right. Thank you, Jenny.
You're welcome. And that's all I have.
Do you have any other questions for Mrs. Cameron? Okay. Thank you. Police Chief's report.
I just got a few things. Nothing that we didn't discuss in ECC, but Friday night we had the OVI task force along with State Highway Patrol. We did a checkpoint down on Red Bank. I think there was 3 or 4 OVI arrests, and we had one individual decided to take Coal Bank, and about halfway up Coal Bank, he told the driver to slow down. And he bailed out after throwing his methamphetamine everywhere. So he's probably going back to prison for a long time since he had felony warrants for parole violations. So it was everything but uneventful Friday night. So, but everybody did it safe and sound, and everybody worked out real good. We started the STEP program back up on Friday. We've had one officer run it so far, but with the weather and the weekend, so hopefully that's going to pick some things up. And today we had watch guard / mobile comm. The guy flew in from somewhere, getting our body cameras up and running. So today was above my pay grade. It was a lot of IT stuff and administrative stuff that they were doing. Our IT guy, Mike Manford, was here. So I guess tomorrow and partially on Wednesday, we should be up and running and with at least 2 cars with body cameras, because the cars have to go to Par Public Safety, get outfitted for the body cameras. But if they're outfitted, you can't use them until we get the body cameras. So we got 2 vehicles we can't use right now. So other than that, that's about all I got. And if anybody's wondering, I don't have any information on the Little Miami bike trail thing. I know there was some questions today where they found a deceased person along the bike trail. There hasn't been anything released on it. It wasn't even hardly in the news. It was word of mouth spreading around. So I have no clue. And that's all I got.
Just so everybody knows, this wasn't on our bike path. It was on the over by Newtown and up towards Terrace Park. So it wasn't on ours.
No.
Okay, thanks, Chief. Okay. Anybody have any questions for the Chief? Okay. On to new business. Ordinance number 2021.
This is to provide for the current expenditures and other expenses of the Village of Fairfax, Ohio during the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2021, with a transfer of funds from general fund unappropriated to general fund engineering services and declaring an emergency.
And this is bookkeeping. Does anybody have any questions on this? At this time, I need a motion to suspend the 3 readings.
I so move.
A second.
Roll call.
Ms. Camerisi,
Aye.
Mr. Ernst,
Aye.
Mr. Kessel,
Aye.
Ms. Lally,
Aye.
Ms. Resnick,
Aye.
and Mr. Riffle.
This time I need a motion for ordinance number 2021.
I so move.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Camerisi,
Aye.
Mr. Ernst,
Aye.
Mr. Kessel,
Aye.
Ms. Lally,
Aye.
Ms. Resnick,
Aye.
and Mr. Riffle.
Ordinance number 2021 has been adopted. On to resolution R2 2021.
This is authorizing the drawing of warrants and payment of amounts due upon contracts or orders for $3,000 or more pursuant to a then and now certificate in conformance with revised code section 5705.41 D1.
Anyone have any questions on resolution R2 2021? This time I need a motion to adopt resolution R2 2021.
I so move.
Have a second?
I'll second.
Roll call, please.
Ms. Camerisi,
Aye.
Mr. Ernst,
Aye.
Mr. Kessel,
Aye.
Ms. Lally,
Aye.
Ms. Resnick,
Aye.
and Mr. Riffle.
Do we have any old business? Any council discussions? Okay. This time,
I have one thing. Now, do we find out anything about the old cruiser over in the parking lot, municipal lot? What's going to go on with it?
why don't you stop in and we'll talk to you about that tomorrow.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay.
Thank you.
No. So, anybody else? Okay. We're open for adjournment.
I so move.
I'll
I'll
second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? We're adjourned. Thanks, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye.
Thank you.
Aye.
Have a good evening.